A single forgotten seal has the power to rewrite an entire kingdom's history, and the top 10 mysteries we'll reveal will change how you see the past. Stay tuned, because number 1 is something almost nobody guesses. Mystery surrounds the Phaistos disc, a clay disc stamped with 241 enigmatic symbols that still defy full translation. Discovered in 1908 on the island of Crete, the artifact dates to the Late Bronze Age and may represent an early form of writing or a ceremonial game board. Researchers argue that the symbols could point to a previously unknown administrative system, potentially shifting our view of Minoan literacy levels. Some scholars even suggest the disc hints at trade connections with the Near East that were thought impossible for that era. While the debate rages, the disc's very existence challenges the timeline of written communication in the Aegean, and its secretive nature keeps archaeologists searching for a key. The next seal pushes the mystery even further, linking script to a different continent.
Unearthed alongside the famous trilingual text, a secondary inscription on the reverse side of the Rosetta stone has been largely ignored by popular accounts. This faint line, written in Demotic script, appears to reference a local decree about temple taxes, suggesting that the stone served a dual political and fiscal purpose. If the translation holds, it could mean that Egyptian officials used the stone to legitimize economic reforms, reshaping our understanding of Ptolemaic governance. Some Egyptologists believe this hidden clause hints at a broader network of administrative documents that have yet to surface, potentially rewriting the economic history of Hellenistic Egypt. The intrigue deepens as we move to a tablet that may predate known writing systems altogether.
Legend says the Tărtăria Tablets, 3 baked clay objects found in Romania in 1961, bear symbols that predate Sumerian cuneiform by centuries. Dated to roughly 5500 BCE, the tablets display spirals, dots, and abstract signs that some researchers interpret as a proto-writing system. If these markings indeed encode language, they could push back the origin of recorded communication by a full millennium, forcing scholars to rethink the cradle of writing. However, the tablets' context is disputed. Critics argue they might be ritual objects rather than documents. Still, the sheer age and complexity keep the debate alive, and the possibility of an earlier script fuels countless theories about prehistoric networks across Europe and the Near East. Up next is a hidden board from the Indus Valley that may hold its own secrets.
Hidden among the Vinča culture's Neolithic settlements in Serbia lies a small clay tablet etched with a series of linear signs. Scholars term these markings the Vinča script, and they date back to around 5400 BCE, making them some of the oldest candidate writing systems known. While the symbols have not been deciphered, their regularity suggests intentional communication rather than decorative art. If proven to be true writing, the tablet would challenge the long-held belief that complex script emerged only in Mesopotamia and Egypt. Some researchers propose the signs represent a proto-numerical system used for trade, hinting at sophisticated economic activity far earlier than assumed. The debate continues, but the tablet's existence alone reshapes our perception of Neolithic societies. Next, we travel to Jerusalem, where a tunnel inscription tells a surprisingly different story.
Surprisingly, the Siloam inscription carved into a water tunnel in Jerusalem offers a rare first-person account of engineering in the 8th century BCE. The Hebrew text records the meeting of 2 teams digging from opposite ends, finally joining in the middle, a feat that illustrates organized labor and state-level project management. Some historians argue the inscription validates biblical narratives about King Hezekiah's waterworks, while others caution against over-reliance on a single source. Nonetheless, the stone provides concrete evidence of large-scale infrastructure in Judah, suggesting a level of bureaucratic sophistication previously underestimated. The find also raises questions about the spread of construction knowledge across neighboring kingdoms. Moving upward, we encounter a recent discovery that may rewrite the story of the Indus Valley civilization's urban planning.
Recent excavations at Dholavira, a major Harappan city in present-day India, uncovered a massive sandstone signboard bearing a series of pictographs that appear to be a proto-administrative ledger. The symbols include stylized animals, geometric shapes, and possible numerals, hinting at a standardized system for tracking goods or taxes. If the interpretation holds, it could mean that the Indus Valley possessed a bureaucratic apparatus comparable to contemporary Mesopotamia, challenging the notion that its script remains indecipherable because it was purely symbolic. Some experts suggest the board was displayed publicly, functioning like an ancient billboard announcing market regulations. This would illustrate a level of civic transparency rarely attributed to Bronze Age societies. Yet another artifact pushes the timeline even further, taking us to an ancient Korean stele with a story of maritime power.
Ancient records describe Jang Bogo as a 9th century Korean naval commander who controlled trade routes across the Yellow Sea. The stele erected in his honor bears an inscription that not only recounts his victories but also details a diplomatic treaty with Tang China, suggesting a far-reaching influence. If the stele's wording is accurate, it could imply that Korean maritime power was a decisive factor in regional politics earlier than most Korean histories claim. Some scholars caution that the stone may have been commissioned by later dynasties to legitimize their own claims, yet the specific dates and place names align with independent Chinese chronicles. This convergence of sources strengthens the case for a sophisticated, sea-based empire that reshaped East Asian trade networks. Next, we delve into a Maya stela whose glyphs have baffled scholars for decades.
Few people know that Tikal Stela 31, once thought to be a simple ruler portrait, actually contains a complex calendrical text that may rewrite the chronology of the classic Maya collapse. The hieroglyphic block references a solar eclipse in 695 CE, an event not previously linked to Tikal's political timeline. If the eclipse correlation is correct, it pushes back the date of a major dynastic shift by several decades, suggesting that environmental factors played a larger role in the city's decline. Some epigraphers argue the text could be a later addition, but radiocarbon dating of surrounding mortar supports its authenticity. This reinterpretation forces archaeologists to reconsider how climate and celestial events influenced Maya socio-political structures. The journey continues southward, where a Buddhist relic seal may hold the key to a different cultural transformation.
Deep beneath the hills of ancient Gandhara, a gold casket bearing Kanishka's seal was discovered, inscribed with a rare Kushan script that blends Bactrian and Sanskrit elements. The seal's wording mentions a great council of monks convening at a site that matches the modern city of Taxila, implying that a formalized Buddhist synod occurred a century earlier than previously documented. If scholars accept this reading, it could shift the accepted timeline of Buddhist doctrinal development, indicating that organized councils were established during Kanishka's reign, c. 127 CE, rather than later. Some historians caution that the inscription might be a later dedication, but metallurgical analysis suggests a contemporaneous origin. This find therefore challenges long-standing assumptions about the spread and institutionalization of Buddhism across Central Asia. Finally, we arrive at the most controversial seal of all.
Finally, the hidden seal discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls fragments may finally link the sectarian community to mainstream Judean society. The tiny stamp, bearing a double lion motif and the name Yohanan, was found on a previously untranslated fragment of a legal document. If the name references the community's leader, it suggests that the scroll's authors were not isolated radicals but participants in broader legal and economic networks. This could rewrite centuries-old narratives about a secretive group operating on the margins of Jewish life, instead positioning them within the mainstream political framework of the Second Temple period. While some experts argue the seal could be a later addition, carbon dating of the parchment aligns it with the 1st century CE context. The revelation invites scholars to reassess the scroll's role in shaping our understanding of early Judaism and early Christianity.
We've just traveled through 10 of the most enigmatic seals and inscriptions, each one offering a glimpse into a past that could be far different than the textbooks suggest. From Bronze Age tablets to medieval stele, the evidence shows how a single line of carving can reshape entire regional narratives. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next mind-blowing list we drop every week. Which of these mysterious marks left you the biggest impression? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.